there! Today we're going to be making the best tasting vegan mozzarella sticks. If we haven't met yet, my name's Val. I made the website Very Vegan Val, and I love all things vegan. I do say that these are the best tasting mozzarella sticks because while the flavor is phenomenal, the texture is not exactly the same as traditional mozzarella sticks. These mozzarella sticks are crispy on the outside and soft in the middle. They're not going to be stretchy or molten like a traditional dairy mozzarella stick. So if cheese pull is really important to you and you just love getting the inside of your mouth like scalded by burning mozzarella, this is not the recipe for you. Otherwise, join me. The key ingredients for this recipe are rice flour, which gives us the structure of the cheese, tapioca flour, which gives a little bit of stretch, and then in terms of flavor, we're going to be using vegan yogurt, and either a little fermented tofu or a little bit of sauerkraut, depending on what you can get your hands on. I think we've talked long enough. Let's just get cooking.
The base of our cheese is going to be 3/4 of a cup of vegan yogurt. I'm using an almond milk yogurt. It's just the cheapest yogurt that was at the store. Now, of course, you're going to want an unflavored, unsweetened yogurt for this. You are going to want a little more tang than just what's in the yogurt. My original version of this recipe uses 1/3 of a cup of sauerkraut, and you can of course use that, but I do not have any. And also I wanted to try a version with fermented tofu. This is a red yeast fermented tofu, hence the color. Just adding about a tablespoon of that. Next, we're going to put in rice flour. Now, this is important that we're using regular rice flour and that it doesn't say glutinous or sweet on it, because that is a different sort of flour. We're going to use 80 grams of this rice flour. Now, I do really recommend you use grams for this recipe because it's just a lot simpler. But if you for some reason don't want to, 80 grams is about the same as 3/4 of a cup. The rice flour will give us the structure we need for our cheese, but we'll be using tapioca starch for the stretchiness. 30 grams of tapioca. That's a little bit less than 1/3 of a cup. Basically 1/3 of a cup though. Next, you're going to want 1/4 cup of a neutral flavored oil. About 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. If you happen to have a measuring set that has a 1/2 tablespoon measurement, that's what 1.5 teaspoons is. Next, we're going to go ahead and blend this up so it's smooth, creamy, and uniform. There we go. Now we're left with the cheese that has a whole lot of raw flour in it, so we're going to have to steam it in order to get it to set. I think using something square would be more ideal because we're going to be turning these into sort of mozzarella sticks later, but you use what you got, and in this case, what I have is this round ramekin. I'm going to steam mine in my Instapot. I have a little water in the bottom. Next, we're going to add our steaming setter and place the cheese right on top. We're just going to steam this for, I think, 45 minutes. In the past, I've made multiple smaller cheeses, and that's how long it took. So it is possible it will take a little bit longer, but I'm going to go with 45 minutes, and we'll see. Steaming again with a low pressure just in my Instapot, but you can do this on the stovetop too. Just make sure it doesn't run out of water. Our cheese is steamed, so now we're just going to take it out of the mold. It comes out pretty easily, but it does help to go around the edge with a butter knife. If it's first done steaming and it looks like it might still be wet, just know that that could be moisture from the steamer on top of the cheese.
Are we collapsing?
And it's out. Now we're just going to cut the cheese into sort of cheese stick slices. And then we're going to want to bread them. Usually I do this just one at a time before I put them in the hot pan. And all I really use is breadcrumbs. You can add a little bit of salt to it too, but I think the cheese is salty enough on its own that I'm just going to do breadcrumbs. The wonderful thing about this cheese is it is pretty sticky, so you don't need to add anything to get the breadcrumbs to stick. Now we're just going to get a small skillet on the stove and heat up some oil. so we can finish our mozzarella sticks. Heating up some oil in a pan, and then we're gonna put our breaded cheese sticks right in. And we'll just fry them until they're crispy, and then turn them over. They really just need a minute or so on each side, but they have 4 sides, so it's gonna take a little bit. Here we got our vegan mozzarella sticks.
Time to eat. These are super crispy and they're kind of soft. Here, I'll show you a close-up on the inside. This is what it looks like on the inside. Honestly, it looks a lot like Burmese tofu, the chickpea tofu, but it does not taste like that. Now, obviously, the right sauce for trying this is a marinara sauce or another tomato sauce, but we don't have that, so we're making do with what we have. I have a hot sauce, a different hot sauce, and some mustard. I don't think any of those are the right choice. Cheers. The flavor of this is just really quite good. The yogurt, along with that little extra bit of fermented tofu, really feels quite cheesy. And the outside, super crispy. It's definitely not as oily as a mozzarella stick would be, but it's soft and it's cheesy and it's delicious. If you do make this cheese recipe and want to try something else besides mozzarella sticks, this cheese is best either cold or warm, but it doesn't do melted. Just keep that in mind. So I think it's actually really good on a sandwich, and I think it's really good on a toasted sandwich, but you won't be getting that melty, sticky quality in the same way as you would with like a dairy cheese or other vegan cheeses potentially. However, if you're after flavor, the tang from the yogurt and the saltiness of the fermented tofu work really, really well. And the texture is actually really nice as well. It's soft with a little bit of bounce. And really, I mean, it just makes the best vegan mozzarella sticks. That's all we got for you guys today. A little bit of a shorter one, I know. Also, I've got my hair up. Every time I film with my hair up, I end up regretting it because I feel like it makes my head look really small. Hopefully, the high pony has managed to change my mind. I would say let me know in the comments if my head looks small, but actually I probably don't want to know that. So instead, let me know in the comments what some of your favorite appetizers are, and if they're vegan, if you've made a vegan version, tell me all about it. Until next time, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you'll be the first to know the next time we post, especially if you turn on those notifications. Until next time, bye-bye.